Hey everybody, welcome back to another full self-driving beta video. I am back to my original vlogging style, except that I have my GoPro mounted outside of my car right above the cameras. We're gonna see if this gives me a better alignment for the augmented reality style that I'm aiming for. I am happy to report that this is in fact the best orientation for my GoPro camera. In fact, placed right next to the actual cameras, it gives me that augmented reality style that I have been craving. I will be alternating between the different views. I've experimented with 3 different setups. You can see here, way overhead. I have great success with this. It gives a great line of view. Also way behind my car. This was a lot of fun to experiment with. Although the pole gets picked up in the footage, I'm not sure if I'm going to keep that indefinitely, but it was something fun to explore. Please subscribe to my Patreon. I would love to be able to afford an Insta360 camera. I'm still kind of in the beginning stages, believe it or not, with my channel. I appreciate everybody's support with that. And then, of course, there's this view right in front of the car. I do like the in-car view, the original that I started with. It is kind of nice because it gives that realistic driving point of view. We'll probably be going back to that more and more in the future as well. But I am on the latest version of Full Self-Driving Beta, which is version 11.4.7. I'm located in the northwest suburbs of Chicago, and I've been testing since October 24th, 2021. I'm dialed in to take us all the way over to Woodfield Mall, which is a popular attraction or a popular place to go to in Schaumburg, Illinois. And then from there over to Schaumburg High School. We're going to see how well it does here taking us there. So all I need to do to get started is double tap down and the car will start moving. Now I still need to put some force on the steering wheel. A lot of people ask that question, is it really self-driving? Well, yes and no. It does drive by itself, but it requires driver feedback. Now what is the feedback it's looking for? You can, oh, here's a person riding their bike. It went around him really well. You could see it picked him up on the screen. I love being able to capture that high definition quality here on the screen with the HDMI output. Adam Urban is selling these HDMI output screens. You have to buy a whole separate screen in order to capture this HDMI quality output. And what you need to do is you need to have basically like an Android device or a tablet or a computer sitting in your car connected over an HDMI cable with a HDMI video capture card as well. But essentially, this adds to the whole experience where I can document everything as I go. But overall, beta has improved, I would say, but not to the point where it's perfect. So the feedback that it requires is a little bit of force on the steering wheel. And when you first get started with full self-driving, you can easily trip the system. My mom, when she tried it out for the first time, she put her hand on the steering wheel and immediately jerked it out of the self-driving mode and just double tap down. Okay, now let go. Oops, oh, now so you jerk the steering wheel, and she was confused, like, is the car driving? Am I driving? What's going on? Because what happens in that case, and I'll demonstrate it for you here, is it puts it into what they call TACC mode, which I can't remember exactly what it stands for, but essentially it's like a smart cruise control. And what happens is, see, I'm going to jerk it out right now. Okay, now look at this. So it's saying it applied corrective steering. I am not stepping on the accelerator at all. The car is still driving. So it's maintaining a speed of 28 miles an hour, and I have to steer. Now, if I let go of the steering wheel, look at this. I'm going to let go of the steering wheel. It's going to freak out, saying, hey, you're going over the line. Oh, it didn't freak out that time. So sometimes it will freak out. Other times it won't. Let's try it again here. But like I said, I'm not touching anything down below with my foot. Let's see if it detects the line there. It's not. Let's see if it detects the yellow line. It's not. So that is something that I've noticed, is sometimes it doesn't, it's hit or miss whether or not the corrective steering applies. It's really random. But you can see, look, stopping for traffic control in 500 feet. So beta is not on. Let's see if it stops for this car here. Yes, it's slowing down. You can see the visualizations. It saw that person there. We are going to be turning right here. So it's going to intelligently slow down and stop, but it's not going to change lanes. It's not going to do any of that stuff. But the really cool part is I can enable it again by just double tapping down. And watch, it's immediately going to recognize I need to go right. So now the steering wheel is starting to move. And it's moving over all by itself. I'm not doing anything now. The car is driving all on its own. But again, I need to provide that feedback. So it's very easy, like I said, to kind of jerk the steering wheel too much. So that's an area that you have to get used to. The other way to tell the system that you are there and that you're paying attention, well, first of all, you obviously have to be sitting in the seat, right? So if I take off the seat belt, it's going to complain in a very, very big way. And I'll show that to you right now. Watch this. I'm going to take off my seat belt. It says cruise control speed, press accelerator to resume control. Nobody behind me. I'm going to put my seatbelt back on. It's not doing anything. It says take over immediately. Hazard lights went on. And now I'm having a hard time actually getting out of this mode. Let me see what I can do here. Okay, there we go. Finally, it reset itself. So it does not like it if you take your seatbelt off. So don't do that. But you have to be sitting in your seat. Your seatbelt has to be on. And then you also have to be looking at the road. So there's a camera right above the rear view mirror. I'm going to turn it back on. It allows you to turn it back on. That does not count as a strike. So if you're not paying attention or you're doing something wrong, mainly just ignoring all the messages on the screen and not paying attention, you will get a strike. A strike means that red steering wheel pops up on the screen and it penalizes you. If you get 5 of those, then you get beta removed from your vehicle. And my understanding is after 2 weeks, it will come back, but you are penalized from abusing the system. So along with touching the steering wheel and looking at the road, another method to prove that you're paying attention is to just gently toggle the scroll wheels on the screen. So the right scroll wheel, if I push up on the right scroll wheel, you can see the speed limit, maximum speed limit, is changing. So I can, on a 40 mile per hour road like I'm driving right now, I can bump it all the way up to the max, which is 85. Now let's see if it actually tries to go that fast. 74, 75, 76. I can go all the way up to 85. It won't let me go past 85. Now look at the 40 mile per hour speed limit sign on the screen. It's turned blue. What that means is that it is over a particular threshold. I think it's once you're over 50% of the speed limit, then it turns blue. So I'm going to come back down. Once you get below 60, then it's not blue. And actually, look at that. It actually turns more blue the higher up you go. That's interesting. I didn't know that. So see, it's kind of light blue. Maybe I'm wrong on that. Let's go below 60, okay? And go all the way up. Seems like that is actually getting darker, but maybe not. What I found is that the darker blue shading happens automatically. It has nothing to do with exceeding that threshold even further. Even though I'm on these roads, it's not going to go that speed limit. It recognizes the traffic flow around you, and it will maintain the speed based on those vehicles. But that's the other way, is you use the scroll wheel. Now, are there other ways, like touching the screen? No, touching the screen does not count. However, you can adjust the volume control, and you can also go left or right on that left scroll wheel to toggle backward or forward with your audio tracks. Now, if you touch the accelerator, does that count as you paying attention? No, unfortunately it doesn't. And I'll demonstrate that to you right now. So, we're actually going 60. It's trying to go, I think it's keeping speed with everybody on this road. Everyone's going really fast right now. I should not be going 60 in a 40 right now, so I'm going to slow it down here. I'm going to go down to 45. Let me get this dialed back down, and I don't like going that fast on these roads. So I'll demonstrate it for you right now. Since I was touching it, I just reset the counter. It's basically like a timer, and depending on the speed that you're going and the roads that you're on, it will change the amount of time it requires for the flashing blue symbol on the top of the screen. So you can wait for it here. You'll see on the top of the screen. And I know a lot of you are very familiar with beta already, so you're like, okay, none of this is new. And if you're not, fast forward it. I'll put the timestamps on the bottom. But this is for anybody, like any newbies. This is a good reference video, I would hope or assume. So I'm not touching the wheel. I haven't done anything now ever since I brought the speed down to 45 max. And you'll see here in a minute, it's going to show up where it's a blue banner flashing at the top of the screen. Once that happens, you have to put some force on the steering wheel or toggle that wheel. And I'll show you that if I step on the accelerator, which you'll see very evidently with my speed changing, that does not change that message in any way. So wait for it. Now this truck here is expecting that I'm going to let him in. I don't know if Beta is going to let him in. Okay, Beta is letting him in. It appears. Good. Kind of is forcing himself in there. Beta didn't know exactly what to do, but I find it funny, this tractor here, it's showing like a condensed semi-truck on the back of a minivan. And it is yielding to them. So you saw it turn blue. When an object on the screen turns blue, that means it's yielding to them. So there's the blue flashing. So I'm going to show you right now. I'm going to step on the accelerator. You saw that, and it did not stop the blue. So I have to put my hands on the wheel and just move it ever so slightly to get that to go away. Going all the way back to the very beginning, is it self-driving? No, it's not. You have to be paying attention. This is a level 2 system. It does make mistakes. It's not perfect, but how well does it perform? In my opinion, really, really well. It does a lot of this stuff automatically. Now here it's a green arrow. It's going to go through just fine. Somebody's behind me. A little bit of awkwardness there on the turn, but overall not. I mean, from the outside looking at the car, I think it behaved completely normally. I don't think anyone would have suspected that my car is driving itself, but being in the driver's seat, feeling those small little motions, you know that it's kind of robotic movements in a small way. It wasn't too jerky. But here now we're negotiating with traffic. It is our turn, and it's hesitating, and thankfully going. That car's waiting for us. So sometimes when the other person is too aggressive, Beta does yield to them and slow down. So now we are arriving. So I'm going to pull in here just so I get out of the way of the traffic. This is our destination here. So parking lots are not the greatest. They don't operate perfectly. A lot of people want to know, what is the auto park like? And I can demonstrate that for you here really quick. So this is an unusual parking lot because it's the positions in the mall parking lot are slanted. So how do you park? How do you do auto park when they're slanted? Well, it's kind of funny because normally you would pull in with the front of your car into one of these spots. But as you could see there, the little P icon showed up. So I'm going to go forward here and wait for another P icon. So the P stands for park, and it's saying, okay, park. Okay, there it went away. I just tried to tap it, but it disappeared. Come forward again. You have to be going really slow. Okay, there it is. Now I have no idea what spot it's going to park in. Oh, there it went away. So I started it, but then it went away. That was interesting. Let's go forward a little bit more. Nobody around us. Nobody that we're bothering. Okay, there we go. Shift to reverse. Now again, I have no idea which spot it's going to take. Now there's someone coming. So let's just see if it can get in this spot because it's a very awkward angle. And you would never park like this, right? I mean, this is meant so you go front in. I do see some cars that are parked this way though. Further down. So it's going to go through these motions and bring it back into its spot. And then let's see if it can get out of this spot to head over to Schaumburg High School. Okay, beautiful. Look at that. It's right in between the lines. It's still moving the steering wheel. Auto park complete. Puts the parking brake on. Everything completes itself. Now what I can do is hit the continue trip button. Calculating route. I'm going to step on the brake, put it into drive. We're going to wait to see if we can actually enable full self-driving beta. There it is, the steering wheel. So it actually let me turn it on from the parking spot. That is unusual. I don't know if that's changed, but most of the time before you'd have to kind of get out of the spot. After it parked itself, it would have to reorient itself a little bit. The cameras would have to be able to know kind of where it is. So let's just try it. Oh, it looks like it's coming on and off. As soon as it turns back on again, we'll enable it. There it is. Okay. The mirrors just folded in. Okay, coming out. Not bad. Now we're going the wrong way. This is not exactly correct, but not a big deal. Not too many people in this parking lot right now. And it's going left. All right, it's always a toss-up. Which way is it going to go? And it's trying to get out. Limiting max speed for road type. It's trying to find its way out. The cool part is it's never driven through here ever before, and it's just looking at its surroundings using the cameras just like a human would to try to figure out how to get out of here. And coming out here, we're going to be turning left. It needs to get all the way over there. Come on, you got this. Got to go left in the left lane. It makes me feel very at ease right now because nobody's behind us, but the left turn signal is on. That is correct. We're just in the wrong area for this. Now we need to look around and make sure no cars are coming. Looks like it's clear on the right and clear on the left. We are good to go. Oh, it's hesitating now. Okay, so these people are coming on the left. It could have gone. And now what's it gonna do? Ooh. Okay, so my car decided to go and it kind of cut that person off, but that person was going slow enough that it was okay. Now we are in the left turn lane. We need to go straight, so I'm not sure what it's gonna do here. Okay, so this person's probably wondering what's going on because we are in the wrong lane. Hopefully it sees these arrows. So this is not a public road, but there's left arrows to turn left in here. So and we are driving in the wrong area. Now I could tell it to get over into the right lane. Well, let's just see what it does here. It thinks this is a lane. It's so funny. Okay, we're letting them go. Just by coincidence, to be honest with you. Okay, and go, come on. Okay, so now it's just really throwing a lot of people off because that should have been the left turn lane. So what I'm going to do is, well, it's going to do it anyway. Okay, here we go, changing lanes to follow route. Yeah, it should have been over here quite a while ago. Okay, and let's make this full screen again, now that we're on track. All right, so a little bit awkward in these uncharted territories where it's not a real road and you're kind of like in a parking lot zone area. Again, I don't have expectations that it's going to be working perfectly in those areas. That's the first I've ever seen Beta do something like that, though. I just thought that was kind of funny. And we were, ooh, that guy's not supposed to do that, I don't think. He did a U-turn there. Okay, and then coming up here, turning right. I'm very curious when I do the post-editing. Okay, green arrow, we can go. I'm very curious when I do the post-editing if the wide-angle view is going to show a lot of details, because as a human driver, you know, you can look left, you can look right. This is, again, where I would love to be able to document everything with an Insta360 camera. The only challenge is that those are $300, $400, and I just don't have that type of extra cash lying around. But if somebody wants to help sponsor me, I'm more than willing to get a new Insta360. I would love to play around with that and increase the quality of my content. I have a Patreon site. I've been trying to get some people to support me on there. I know I do have a lot of viewers. Thank you so much for your support watching my channel. The equipment that I've purchased has put me in the hole by quite a bit. I think I'm still down like $1,000, $2,000 more, even more than that. And that has nothing to do with the amount of time that I've spent editing. I'm often up until 2, 3 a.m. Working on my videos. Maybe not often, but at least once a week I stay up till 2 to finish editing different videos. I try to make my videos interesting, so I fast forward through areas, and I always, you know, watch them 2 or 3 times, so it just takes a lot of time. Then the rendering, I did get a very powerful computer, so the reason why I'm in debt by $2,000-$3,000 with my channel is because first of all, I purchased the GoPro camera. I purchased a mount. I purchased the extra HDMI screen. I purchased a tablet. I purchased an extra phone, an iPhone, to capture the smart summon. I also purchased the mounts for my car. I purchased, what else did I get? Some lights. I got some lighting. I got microphone. The microphones are really expensive. I've gone through several mics and explored. You know what works really well, surprisingly, is this iPhone microphone. It works really, really, really well. But yeah, all in all, I'm not complaining about the costs that it's taken me to create my channel, because I really truly love what I do. I otherwise I wouldn't be doing it, obviously. And I think if somebody wants to start a channel, you have to really enjoy doing it, and that includes the video editing work. And the video editing software, thankfully, is free. It's DaVinci Resolve. That's what I use. A lot of people are curious about that as well. So that at least doesn't cost anything. But a big chunk of the expense was the computer. If you want to be able to do a lot of this editing, you don't want to spend countless hours waiting for your videos to render. So I did get a MacBook Air, and I got the latest MacBook Air with a 2 terabyte hard drive. It has 32 gigabytes of RAM. It's a multi-core processor. It's an M2 processor. I maxed out everything that I possibly could on it, and it was expensive. I think it was like $3,000. I don't spend money on computers like that normally, but this one I knew I had to make it count so that I could minimize my time editing, because I found that it was just taking immense amounts of time. I also bought a new router to increase the speed of my internet connection, because I have a fast internet connection coming in, but the wireless around my house wasn't that great. So yeah, adding up all those expenses, I don't mean to elaborate on it, but it's expensive to be able to manage a successful YouTube channel, and I wouldn't even call my channel successful. It's only successful because of you guys and all of your support. So I appreciate that, as always. Okay, going forward here, I love these intersections, and I'm hoping, like I said, that I can get this augmented reality. Ooh, it's coming really close to that car. But this may be the best angle to capture this augmented reality type content that I'm looking for. And sure enough, it is the right placement for the camera. I was very pleased with the way this turned out. So unfortunately, the next street that I take is heading west, and the sun is shining down at a very horrible angle. It makes it extremely difficult to see the road, and I have to put my visor down, and it's just not a really good placement for showing this augmented reality style. So what I'm going to do is rewind it, or go way back to the previous roads that I was on and highlight the augmented reality style there. Now what I did discover is that even though I played around with this a lot with the yaw, and I applied a transform overlay and shifted the canvas quite a bit, I couldn't get it to line up perfectly. And even though it was not perfect, the bigger issue I had with it was the fact that you need to stretch the video. So the cars end up getting elongated, and it's really hard to get the view correct. So what ends up happening, just so you're aware, and I'm sorry, you guys, this is really just way too detailed, but if anybody wants to get into this, it might be food for thought for kind of how I went about it. I did apply a 3D keyer to be able to eliminate some of the white background. I will play around with the black backdrop, so the night view. Here you can see just how horrible the sun is. But I'm going to shut up from here and just roll through the footage where I'm showing the overlay. Hope you guys can appreciate this. I hope that it can get improved in the future, although I might not be leveraging this as much as I thought, because it just doesn't give the best results, even though I played around with it a lot. I'm very curious to see how AI Driver can get his overlay working, if he can do it better than me. I'm very, very curious to see. So, he's very good at editing, and I certainly am. I don't think I'm in the same arena as him with his editing skills. So I'm really looking forward to seeing his results. But yeah, this is the best that I could do for now. So hope you guys enjoy.